What's up, guys? If you guys have been watching my channel for a long time, you've seen me wearing the Alpha Maui gear, Alpha Maui hats more specifically. Alpha Maui has actually partnered up and they're the sponsor of today's video. They're giving you guys 15% off your first order at alphamaui.com by using the code CRUISIN. You guys can check out all their apparel. They have tons of gear there to choose from, accessories, everything you could possibly imagine. Great company, so check them out and you guys can get a good deal on their products. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Cruising with Kevin. Today we are in St. Petersburg, Florida, looking at this 1973 Gran Torino Sport. It's got a 351 Cleveland in it. Looks like it's been sitting forever. We don't really know a bunch of the history of it, but we're going to take a look at this thing and see what we can figure out and see if it's worth picking up for the channel here or not. So let's get to it, guys.
All right, guys. So before I went to buy this Gran Torino, I was actually planning on buying this 55. It's basically a Bel Air. It's a 210. I had brought cash in the trailer and everything, and I was going to purchase it, and it was just falling off the body. There was not a single thing left that could pretty much be saved on it other than a bit of trim and maybe the glass, and that was about it. So it was just, there was nothing to work with here. So on a very rare occasion, I actually passed in a car that was even too rough for me there.
Yeah, she's gone. There's nothing left to save here. All right, guys, we're on our way to look at a car for me, but while we're on the way, we stopped at Manatee County Rest Area here. We'll show you over our shoulder here in a second, but it's a pretty amazing view here. So check this out, guys. The kids will be able to tell you the name of this. What are these?
Horseshoe crabs.
Horseshoe crabs, guys, right at the shore here, and look how clear the water is.
They had this and a Mustang, and they said everything's got to go together.
Oh.
So we're like, okay.
All right. Let me take a look at this thing. I didn't really ask you about the interior, and it wasn't good pictures, so I just kind of made an assumption here, but not as bad as I thought it would be, honestly. Bumpers and all that kind of stuff.
The Mustang was a 69.
Oh, yeah.
69 coupe.
Yeah.
With like the vinyl top, I mean, it was undesirable Mustang too. Like, it wasn't
Interesting. All right. Have you ever checked like it if it's seized or anything? I never asked you, but I figured.
No.
I almost was tempted to bring a battery to try it, but
Just to see it spin over or whatever. I do have a booster pack in my truck, but I just... Oh, that's good. Okay, it seems like it's not seized. So that's about the main thing there. Once you run into that problem, then that's a whole nother animal to deal with. So you have the title and stuff, you said? You're all good?
Yeah.
Okay. Whew, she smells like old gas.
Yes.
Yeah, people stop liking them when they get all this weird metal trim and stuff. All this like, just. Oop. No, pretty sure that was locked.
I was trying to get into that the other day.
Oh, there we go.
I know we had it open at one point.
I wonder. Whenever you find that kind of stuff, you're like, huh, it's all been changed. It doesn't look like they've had great success with distributors there.
No.
Not always the best there, but that's the factory intake by the looks of it. Yeah. Like I said, it's just what you get, right? All right, guys, so looks like, I'm assuming what happened was this thing was sitting around. The guy just told us this history on this car, a little bit, what he knows. Basically, he bought it as a package deal, and they had to take this car in order to get the other cars they actually wanted here. So It's you can see it's got an air grabber scoop on it, 351 Cleveland motor, which is really cool. The only problem is it's 73, so by 73 they had already cut the power ratings down by quite a bit. So it's got a lot less power, but it is a 4-barrel, it looks like. There's some spare parts in the trunk for it. Not exactly sure what's going on. It looks like it's got dual exhaust there. A couple little dings and dents, some rust. It definitely needs a floor pan on that side. It looks like from underneath. It's hard to see, but that's kind of where we're at here. So yeah. Ooh, this thing's stiff. Okay, let me straighten the wheels out here. We're gonna get too far over there.
There's a town on a river, nowhere South Dakota, where everybody knows my name. But here in the city, the Broadway lights are burning, just another dreamer chasing fame. I left my friends and family, and everyone that knows me, and more I'm wondering why. When I lay me down at night, I'm fishing all night.
Now, I'm no door opening expert here, but I don't think when you open your door, that's supposed to happen. I could be completely wrong though. So as you see, we need some fixing on this thing here. We got a 19 Duramax truck body swapped onto a Suburban. Lots of work here. All custom wheel wells. All right, just gonna show you guys. I already had a quick peek in here, but I literally haven't dug around or anything. I just saw what was kind of here. So I saw there was for sure a couple distributors, or at least one, maybe. Looks like Virginia. Huh. Okay, well, that's a new one. That must have been a long time ago. So what I had found out about this thing just from posting it on some social media pages was it's been parked for at least 30 years. I'm thinking longer probably, but 30 for sure. Okay, well, that's interesting. So that's a Edelbrock 4-barrel intake, which doesn't make sense why it wouldn't be on there unless they bought the wrong one. Maybe this is for a Windsor or something like that. I'm not sure why they would have changed it otherwise. It's a 351 2 valve, it says, and then it says performer something. So interesting. Got some old speakers that looks like they just pretty much fell out from rusting away here. Let's see, what's all this here? 2-something gears, 276 gears. What? Summit Racing RP 3.5 inch. Oh, I wonder if they bought gears for it or they changed the gears in it already. Ray Powers. It's even got a phone number on there. That's funny. I don't want to open this up, but it looks like there's a full set of gears in here. There's also a set of headers, if you guys can see. There's exhaust headers here, which is interesting because it's already got headers on it, so I don't know what that's about. And that's about all I can see here. So I'll show you guys the interior a little bit better here. You guys can see this has got a rust hole on the bottom. Another one here, starting here. Just probably caught it at just the right time before it was going to be unsavable. I mean, without a whole bunch of money. These aren't really super desirable cars to begin with, so once they start getting too bad, people aren't willing to save them. You can see it's starting to get holes in the bumper. The problem with like having to replace bumpers is they're kind of hard to find. They're kind of expensive, and so it's just what it is. So I'll show you guys the interior here. All right, as you can see, the panel for the door is not supposed to just stay there. If you looked underneath the panel there, you'd see his car was actually looked like it was factory yellow of some sort of weird yellow, or gold, I guess. That was a pretty popular color in those days, I guess. So that falls off every time you open it. I haven't really done much with it. We pulled it in here. The keys do fit it. It's really super weird too. it's like up to my neck on the door with the seats. It's like the seats need to be 4 inches higher, 6 inches higher, something. Somebody's Sears garage door opener. And then I did grab one of these, and I saw that they had planned to put brake lines in it. I have no idea how old they are, but looks like they've been sitting here a long time. The rest of it could probably be kind of cleaned up here, so I don't know if there's anything in the glove compartment. Looks like that's gone. Yeah, just kind of a mess here, but the passenger window I do believe was open the whole time. It does have these roll down rear windows here, which is kind of neat, but it's definitely just kind of disgusting here. But let's take a look at the motor here, because that's really the important part. All right, it does have this factory hood scoop, which is kind of cool. And I literally, and when I'm saying this, I'm being truthful, I haven't looked at anything under the hood. I opened the hood when I was there briefly, never really looked at much. I think it's a 351 Cleveland, and I believe the valve covers look different, and it also has this scoop, which I don't know if it's actually functional. Oh, it is functional. Well, that's kind of neat. Interesting. Yeah, it's a factory scoop, which is cool. Okay. And here's where you can start to see the problems already. Typical car that's sitting around Florida. You can kind of see both sides, this side and the other side. Holes in it. Again, I didn't even really notice that because it wasn't really relative for the amount that I paid for it. It's I looked at the battery and it looked like it was from 2003. So long time ago. I saw it stamped on here somewhere. So that's probably the year they tried to attempt to get it running and probably weren't. Maybe they were successful. We don't really know. Again, I didn't really look super deep into it, but it's kind of odd that there's all this like there's like all these like weird kind of wires just jimmy rigged to the distributor, and there's 2 distributors just laying in the trunk there. So not the greatest sign either, probably. And I didn't have anything to take this off, but I can. I guess I could have taken it off. I thought this was a 4-barrel, but we'll see. So it looks like a steel intake on it. It is a 4-barrel, so that is good, I guess. That's a good start here. I don't understand why they would have taken off a Edelbrock intake and put this on, unless, like I said, that's the wrong intake or something. And it is steel. It looks like, by the looks of how it's like painted here, it was almost like rebuilt or something. I don't know. And it does have headers, unless they came with some sort of factory style header. I know some of the newer Mustangs and stuff, like Fox bodies, had that kind of stuff. But there's all sorts of like where all these wires go. I have no idea. Like, is this supposed to be like plugged into something else? Like, there's 3 sets of plugs here and one's just jimmy rigged up there. So I have no idea. I know these ignition boxes can be a gigantic problem on these Fords. Again, I haven't worked on one of these in 20 some years, so I have no recollection. All right, so we're gonna just check the fluids in this thing. There's no antifreeze. I can see it way down. It's way down there. That's just kind of normal. I don't know how it evaporates, because most of the time they're still just, I don't know, I guess the water evaporates out of the water portion evaporates out of the antifreeze. I'm gonna check the transmission fluid, or the engine fluid, sorry, engine oil. Oh, look at that. So that's a good sign. That oil is like super clean. That's what I'm saying. This motor looks like they either made a really valiant attempt to try to get it running, or else they had it running, but they couldn't get it on the road for some reason. I did buy transmission fluid just in case. I don't remember if I bought a dipstick. I intended to, but I think I might have forgotten. I mean, man, look at this. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. You can probably see where I just dripped here. Look how clean that oil is. That's a really good sign too. To be clear here, nobody ever even hinted that this thing was going to have any chance at running. I actually wasn't sure. I was hoping it would. I'm still hoping it will. But there's a lot of conglomerations of things happening here. So this is obviously jumped to the starter. I always forget the starters on these things. The Fords have these old starter solenoids and stuff. So I think I should probably just keep myself out of trouble here. Ooh, that's crispy. It's got a new coil, it looks like, or it did at one point. I don't know. I don't even remember how coils wire up. I have no idea. I literally don't remember any of this stuff. It's been so long since I messed around with this kind of stuff. There's a lot of extra wires here. It's not as bad as some that I've seen though. All right, well, I mean, what's the worst could happen? We can try to spin it over and see if it even turns over. I couldn't get it to turn over by hand. I'm gonna disconnect the fuel line first though, just so that if it does try to do anything, that it's not pumping a bunch of fuel in there. We know that there's fuel in the tank still because the tank's been sitting so long it's got a hole rusted in it. All right, I checked all the fluids. I basically took the fuel line off. I'm just gonna see if it'll even do anything or not. I don't know if rats have eaten through the wires or whatever. So let's give it a go and see what happens here. Well, that was unexpected.
I didn't think that was going to happen.
Is there any fuel coming to the lines over there?
Mm-mm. No. It smells like old gas, though.
Yeah, it sure does. So I think our next step here will be to just see if there's even spark. So I'm going to pull off one of the spark plugs, I guess, and just see if it's got any spark. Okay, keep going.
Oh.
Hold it. Whoa, nope. Hang on. Checking for spark here to see if we can get any spark. So the good part is that it looked like. All right. Nope. Hang on. All right, so here's where we're at. Not sure. I ordered some parts. 2 trips to Walmart to grab wrenches. Apparently this thing had a 13mm metric bolt holding the distributor down here. So I ordered a new distributor for it, new plug wires, which I didn't really need, it looks like. And I think I'm going to make an attempt at pulling it out and putting a new one in that's basically an HEI style. So we'll see how that goes here. Super unfamiliar with all of this stuff here, but I'm going to kind of dig into it here. But I'll show you kind of the mess of what's going on here. All right, so here's what's going on. This box is just hanging there loose. So if you guys are familiar with Fords, which I'm not really, but I know that they have these ignition boxes. So it's got 2 ignition boxes, which is only supposed to have 1. And then I couldn't figure out why there was all these like conglomeration of wires, like not really connected to anything. Well, the one box isn't even hooked up to anything, it looks like. This one was just one they thought was probably burnt out. I think this motor was changed. I'm pretty sure, just by a couple of things here. I'm just taking a guess here, but that's what it seems like. This somehow was supposed to connect to that box because that's the cord that plugs into the box over here. So it's just a whole mess of wiring here. It is going to need more stuff when I get home if I even do manage to get started here, but I'm going to make an attempt at trying to at least do something here. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. They got 1 power wire coming out of that one, and then this whole conglomeration over here, and it looks like they used a trailer plug wiring extension to kind of jimmy rig whatever was all going on over here. Like I said, the coil back up here, and it's a mess. So that's never going to work. It probably, if it would probably run very poorly, if at all. So that's what I'm trying to deal with here. All right, so here's the end of that trailer cord situation here. And look how they had this. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but they've got this teed into over here somehow to the coil. And this is, I don't even know, man. Look at how it's like wired here. This is like a fire hazard for sure. And then they've got the power wire from this run over to the front of the, looks like the motor for the, what is going on there? It looks like the power for the windshield motor there or something. I wonder if they actually had it running at one time. Huh. Anyways, I don't know. This is just, like I said, it's another, it looks like the plugs fired at one point or possibly ran, but if it was very brief, I think. Just my opinion. I don't know how this would ever stay running with the way it is here, but this is definitely super cobbled together. So we're going to get rid of all this stuff and fix it hopefully the right way. Either way, it's not going to work like this. So slowly get rid of some of this stuff here, I guess. That's funny. Look at all this. It's just crazy, crazy. All right, so I got that new distributor here. I took all that old wiring off there. I don't even know what was going on with that mess there. Probably not really too sure. But anyways, what I'm going to do is before I pull the distributor out, I want to get it to top dead center. So I guess on these, or at least what I found online is like number 1 is over there. And then I guess it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't really know. So like in a row, they're not going across. So anyways, we're going to bump it over here and see if we can get it top dead center. So that's what's happening right now. All right, so what I'm going to do is put my finger in there and feel for compression and watch for the timing mark at the same time, which is weird on these things, but okay, give it a bump. Oh, yep. A little more. 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 Oh, we passed it. Okay, we're getting close now because I can feel it coming up.
I can't go any slower than I'm going though.
You just got to be quicker with it.
Okay.
Okay, do a little quick bump. Oh, there, I can see the marks now. Okay, so there is a... All right, guys, got it, I think. Top dead center. It's really hard to see the line on it, but we're seeing what we can figure out here. So I'm gonna get this cleaned out a little bit so stuff doesn't fall in there. All right, guys, so went through a whole ordeal here. We got a new distributor. It is from JDM Speed on Amazon there. And we did figure out this is a Cleveland motor, so that's good. Just trying to figure out the firing order and all that stuff. So we had an issue here. Put the HEI in there. I dropped a leaf in there, by the way, so hopefully that's okay. And it ends up somewhere else, not in some place important like a oil passage. But that's besides the point. So I was hooking up 12 volts to the ignition coil here, and I had it hooked up to something which they had already spliced in, which was basically to the power over there, which was to the wiper motor. But what happens is because when you turn the key on these old cars, it draws all the power, it shuts everything else off because it's all going to the starter basically. So now that we got that figured out, we just need fuel, and I think we'll be in business here. I'm actually really surprised that there's not fuel going to it yet, but I think once we have fuel, we should at least hear some sort of noise happen here. So it's starting to get probably a little bit late here. Probably won't get at this today yet, but maybe tomorrow I can come back to this and hopefully make some progress here. All right, so I got the battery on the charger here. I suspect that my number 1, because I'm pretty sure I don't have the plug wires in the right spot. I put them back how they were, but something's weird here. I think it's going to be 2 off. It's either going to be 180. So I watched my buddy Travis B. I watched his video back there to see how they put it in, and his distributor ended up with the vacuum advance straight forward and backwards, like this is how it was sitting. So I don't know, I'm just maybe either way out to lunch or not really sure. So we'll see. I'm gonna spin it over a little bit just so I can get some oil pressure before I actually try to fire it. I'll put the battery charger on it just so it doesn't run the battery down there. So I'm gonna spin it over a little bit and we'll just kind of see what happens there. Okay guys, so I just put a little bit of fuel in the carb. I think I got the bowl full. It was hard to tell. And I put a little bit in the engine. We'll just bump it over and see if the timing's even close or anything like that, or if it backfires or whatever. So let's try the first time with some fuel in it here. I don't have the pump hooked up. All right, didn't even fire there, so I'm gonna put a little more fuel in the carb. Maybe it's just so dry. Didn't even try to fire though, so we'll see. I'll put in more fuel and then we'll try it again. All right, more fuel in it, we'll try it again. Oh, I know what the problem is. I may have forgot to connect the HEI wire. That might be the reason there's no spark still, guys. All right, that was my bad. I forgot to connect the HEI wire there. So I'll put it back to the battery and we'll see if it fires now. Now is the first try. Huh, no spark. Or no fire anyways. All right. Yep. Try that. Either 180 or something. Okay. Oh. Try that. Oh. Well, obviously that way is the right way. All right, I'm gonna have to disconnect this again. And then I think I'm gonna have to move wires here. You can shut it off.
Okay.
So this is one. We take every one of them off except for that one and move them over one. Maybe. You're gonna help me remember this, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Move all of them over one to my left.
Why?
Because I think I'm one off. I think. I don't know for sure, but
So that means it's
that's the only
firing
way.
the wrong order.
Yeah, it's firing in the wrong time. Okay, try that. Oh. Try that.
Oh, almost.
Okay. Whoa, no way.
Turn it off?
Nope, let it run.
Okay.
It'll run itself out of gas.
No freaking way.
No way. Woo, woo.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it. We did it.
We did it. Woo. All right, guys, that's the first time that thing's run in like 35 years, and it actually sounded, at least for the first 10 seconds it ran there, it idled all the fuel out of the bowls and everything. So we're gonna try to start it up here again. I don't have a fuel pump hooked up to it right now. I just want to get a little fuel in the bowls here. So I think it'll just gravity feed from the boat tank here, and it might be enough for it to just keep it idling here. So we'll try that first. Get a little fuel in the bowls. It's definitely leaking out of every orifice here. We need a pump too, but we'd be spraying fuel everywhere right now if we had a pump. So should just fire up and run it. There you go. Look how good it runs. Just running on the little bit of spray I put in there. Wow, that thing runs really good. You hear a little bit of valve chatter there, but minor. It hasn't run in 35 years, you guys. Maybe it'll actually idle on the tank here. No, starting to smoke from all the old oil and everything on there. All right, guys, I think we consider that a success, so I don't know what the next steps are here. We got lots to do here yet before it'll actually drive, but it's running actually really, really good. So that was kind of surprising, actually. I kind of thought it might run okay if it got going, but not after something that sits for 35 years. You know, it's 50-50 on how it's going to run or if it's going to chatter and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to charge up the battery a little bit here, see if we can maybe jimmy rig up a fuel system here. Well, we have my fuel system here, as you can see. Just keeping the old girl running here. Got some smoke cleared out of it. I idled it down some. Got our makeshift fuel system here. It's a little bit ticky still for sure, but of course it would be after that long. Let's go hear how it sounds here. Oh yeah, that's pretty satisfying actually. It's running pretty good. All right, holy cow, this thing's been a giant fight, but I think I know what's going on. I'll have to deal with that when I get home. I'm hoping I can drive it onto the trailer. That's kind of my goal here. So I'm just disconnecting everything now. You can hear it's running, which is a huge win here. So we're gonna try to get this thing onto the trailer. See what we can come up with here, guys. I'm hoping it just drives on. We'll see how it goes.
That river, it's only in my mind. Silos and steeples, the tallest things around. More cattle than people, but the best folks I've found.
Yep. Keep going. Keep going straight. Oh no! I was like trying to move the block and pump at the same time. Maybe that's gas station. Yes, because it paints at the wrong angle.
All right, fighting number 2, or 19, 1 or 2.
Take 5,000.
By the way, this feels really steep in here. Win! Well, it barely made it under its own power here, guys, but we got it. We got it. We've got this makeshift fuel system here. Just give it a little squeeze once in a while and it keeps the bowl full. I let it run for a while earlier. I had to idle it down. We don't have a fuel pump hooked up right now, and I don't know if the one that's on the car is even any good or not. Didn't really have any tools to mess around, so it actually sounds like it runs not too bad. How's my fuel system working out? It's as good as my generator for my generator. All right, guys, we bought this 1973 Ford Gran Torino that hasn't run for 35 years, and we just drove it on the trailer with almost no tools, no knowledge of Fords, because I haven't worked on a Ford in forever. I mean, there was everything going against us here, so considering all that, pretty happy with this, how this is going. It's got a little tick and a couple little things that need to be done for sure to drive it, but overall, you hear it sitting here idling. Needs just the, I mean, needs everything still, but it's running. That's a huge start here. So thanks for watching again, guys. Appreciate all the support. If you guys always jump into the lives and things, I really appreciate that too. Helps the channel out. So appreciate all the support. And like always, guys, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share me around on social media. I am Cruising with Kevin, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.